Hello, welcome back to my channel. In last video, I have introduced a method on using DAX formula in Power BI to calculate the Bollinger Bands for stock price analysis. In that way, we have zero initial value assumptions for the first 19 SMAs due to the requirement of having 20 days rolling pricing data available. Actually, we can also generate the first 19 SMAs from the limited available pricing rolling data in the beginning period. With such initial SMAs, our calculated Bollinger Bands can filter out the short-term fluctuation and noise in the pricing data and provide a more clear trend indication. Regarding the concept and the mathematical formula to generate the first 19 initial SMA values, I have the description and the explanations in details on my website. I have attached the URL link in this video description for your reference. The basic idea is when we have a historic data points less than window size n, we shall choose additional data points from the existing available historic dataset to build a new dynamic combined dataset in which the more recent data points are given double weights for SMA calculation. In this video, I shall demonstrate an approach on using DAX formula in Power BI to implement my concept and mathematical formula for generating Bollinger Bands with calculated initial SMA values. Okay, let's get started. In my Power BI sample file, and the data view, we have calculated columns by DAX formulas for Bollinger Bands without initial SMA values. Let's copy the DAX formula and paste it into the integrated external tool, DAX Studio, for evaluation and modification. For the first defined variable, current date, let's assign a specific date, choosing from the factor table stock price. Then choose a specific stock code, NOK, for variable selected stock code. Keep the predefined values for variable window size and standard deviation number. Let's see what the SMA value of this specific date and stock code generated by DAX formula looks like. The SMA value of 2nd of January 2020, 21st of January 2020, and 27th of January 2020 are 0, because their related available data point size are less than 20. If we change the date to the 4th of February 2020, the data point size of the field dynamic data ranger is 23, which is larger than 20. Then we can see a real value of SMA on the date. Now we need to modify the DAX formula and enable it to generate out the SMA values for the dates in the early of January 2020. Assign an early date, 13th of January, as a checkpoint for the current date. The available date points of the field dynamic data ranger is 8. Let's keep the all existing variable definitions in the DAX formula as they are until the step to find dynamic minimum date from the field data ranger. The existing formula is try to find the earliest date from the field data ranger if the data point number or the row number of the field data ranger is larger or equals to window size 20. Otherwise, the current date will be assigned to the variable minimum date. This we actually simply skipped and exclude all 19 earliest data points of the history dataset for calculating SMA. Thus, This is the step we need to modify for counting them in again for initial SMA calculation. The modification is to replace the variable current date by the minimum date of the stock price historic dataset. Because on this scenario, the available stock price dataset is actually the same one as the filtered dynamic data range. Or you can simply rewrite this variable by removing the condition as the suggested one in the pop-up text on the screen. After this modification, we need to add a step to check if any missed data points from a filtered data range. Name it as additional data points. Then consequent step added here is to create additional data range based on the additional data points from the filtered dynamic data range with a date descent order. Of course, if the missed additional data point is 0, the additional data range is empty. Otherwise, it will be the whole or part of the filtered dynamic data range table. The finally added step is to combine the filtered data range with the additional data range under the paired range condition between current date and minimum date. This dataset ranger guarantees us to have the most weighted recent data points for SMA calculation when available historic data point is less than window size 20. At this phase, we have the required filtered dynamic data ranger for initial SMA calculations. Then the rest steps are just to clean and finalize the formulas to calculate the SMA and standard deviation. Let's do some data points checking to the modified DAX formula. Understand and ensure the results meets our expectation. Then copy and paste the modified DAX formulas back in the Power BI sample desktop file. In the stock price factor table, to create the calculated columns Bollinger middle band, upper band, and lower band. Place the calculated indicators into stock price candlestick chart visual. We see the initial values of the indicators in the beginning period. That is all about in this video. In the video, a method with a presented mathematical equation for calculating initial SMA for Bollinger Bands is introduced. and also an implementation approach in Power BI desktop sample file by DAX formula while integrated DAX Studio environment are demonstrated. Finally, the three Bollinger Bands generated by DAX with a calculated initial value are visualized in a stock price candlestick chart in the Power BI report. Thanks for your watching. Like to watch more videos from my channel? Please press subscribe button. See you in next video.